What's up guys, my name's Diachronic, your host here on this Destiny 2 video. Today we're going to be showing you how to get the Rat King challenge with the 5 minutes remaining in a Nightfall, and this week is going to be a lot easier than the previous weeks. We're trying to get that challenge because it is a much easier strike with a much easier boss with much easier mechanics. So if you guys want to get that Rat King, make sure you do it on this strike. It's going to be a lot easier. If you guys still have trouble doing this strike or this Nightfall for the Rat King challenge, make sure you guys head over to my Twitter at Diachronic, as well as my Twitch, which is also in the description down below, where I'm going to be live streaming, helping you guys do the Nightfall. Still trying to help you out. I'm still trying to figure out exactly the different pieces, so if you could just give me a day or two, I'll be starting on there doing a bunch of live streams to help you guys out with the Rat King. And then of course there's going to be a lot of raids and stuff, so make sure you guys go message me over there if you still have trouble, and I'd be glad to help. Some things you should know about this is that there's a few mechanics in this one that have changed. There's still a rotating burn, but instead of every kill gives you time this week, instead it's going to be a bunch of rings that appear that you have to jump through it. And me personally, I find that this is much easier, much better, and gives you much more time overall. It is awesome and amazing. So the rings work very simply. As soon as you get the first ring that appears there, all you have to do is get all the other rings within 30 seconds to a minute. I'll have the exact time on screen now, and you can actually just get those things very quickly. If you do not get them quick enough, you will actually just be, the rings will disappear and you won't be able to get any more time. You still probably could finish the Nightfall with the 5 minutes remaining, because again, this is actually one of the easier Nightfalls, and it was actually pretty easy overall in general as compared to the arms dealer. As far as your weapons go, I recommend the same thing as last time. Try to have as much variance as possible. You know, have people with their secondaries and their heavies be different. Make sure you have as much coverage as possible. You know, if somebody has an arc void, somebody has a void solar, and last person should have a solar arc, or any combination. You can reverse the direction of all those two, but you should have everybody having a different type and a different combination so that you can more easily kill the boss. As far as supers go, you can either have complete variance where every person has a different super type to be able to handle the enemies as you go along, get you tons of orbs, or in fact you could instead have everyone have the same super. You can have all arc or all fire, or sometimes even all void, although I would recommend all arc. Seems to be the best for killing the boss. And for the boss last fight, make sure you save your super and everybody just go in on him at the very last stage of his fight, because you cannot kill him all in one go because he has invulnerability phases. As soon as you get down to that last set of platforms, then you're going to want to use all your supers and just destroy him once that burn is up. So if you have all solar, wait for the solar burn to come up, and then everybody go in with their supers on him at the same time, because the last section of the fight is the most health that he has. It's, I think, 1.5 bars is the last section of the fight, as well as the fact that he does the most damage in this phase. He has the most enemies or teammates trying to help him. You guys should definitely save your super for this part, and you should be able to nuke him about 10 seconds if everybody goes in with the same super on the special type of burn that it is. So if you are arc, make sure you wait for that arc burn to show up, and you should be able to do it no problem and have plenty of time. So you can see here in the video, you can see the actual rings type of mini game here. You go through that very first ring, and then all the other rings appear after that. There's always 3 paths of rings, so for the 3 people, so everyone has to call out, I'm going middle, I'm going right, and I'm going left, and you should be able to get all these rings no problem. I'm not too sure exactly how many rings each person has, but it should be a pretty equal amount of rings. And make sure you get all the rings for every person, because again, it's 30 seconds for each ring back to your time. It makes it a lot easier to get this, and it's actually a lot easier overall. So just make sure you get all those, and then again, pay attention to that burn, otherwise you're gonna go down like I was, and when it burned is solar. Other than that, there's really not much more to it. I'm gonna leave the rest of the Nightfall for you guys to watch at home and watch along. There's not much more to it. There is this one section later on, which I'm going to be talking during that section, where you have to kill 2 of the minor digger drill guys. I'm going to be talking later on, so later in the video, make sure you stay tuned for that if you're having a problem with that. It makes it really easy and super simple. When we got there, we destroyed them like no problem at all. Hey guys, I'm back. This is going to be the section I was talking about. Another thing I wanted to mention is try to use your Sparrow as much as possible. There's going to be certain areas that we used our Sparrow that you probably should be using your Sparrow to just kind of rush past as many enemies as possible. This is definitely one of them. But up ahead, there's going to be 2 guys you have to kill inside the huts, one on left and one on right. What I recommend is just having the 2 different people go to the 2 different sides and actively just try to use their super and try to kill them. On my solar burn here with my solar weapon super, it was very easy to kill the guy. If it's not a solar burn with a solar thing, it should take a little bit more to kill him, but it should still pretty much outright kill him. You should be able to do it in a few more extra shots, but it also will create a bunch of orbs for your team, so you make sure you tell them about that as well. And then of course there's going to be a bunch of rings here, again left, right, and middle. The middle guy should activate the rings and just start going around getting those rings for you guys. And again, once you guys are finished on the left and right side of those things, try to get those rings as much as you possibly can. And then after that, you're going to launch over to another area that I find a little bit difficult that I will be joining back with you guys as soon as I get there. So this is going to be the section that I found that's really difficult because of these gladiators that melee you and all these dogs that appear everywhere. I recommend maybe even using 1 super here. There's going to be 2 super uses that was just earlier. If the last guy can use his supers when all the dogs and all the gladiators showed up, it should make this part very easy. You can see these gladiators with the yellow and orange health bars. Make sure you use your super on these guys. It will make it a lot easier. And of course, you made a whole bunch of orbs in the previous part that you probably made it so you have a bunch of your other supers. And there's going to be a whole bunch of dogs. It's going to be a little difficult. Use your grenades, use everything you can on these dogs. Maybe even if you have fusion rifles. Fusion rifles are very good against these dogs. And maybe even rocket launchers if they're all around your teammates. It should make it much easier. And of course, the Rat King, unironically, is actually really good for this part. You can get 1 dog kill, go invisible, and then escape them, and it should make it a lot easier. And I had a bunch of sunspots that I was also using whenever I punched somebody or I threw a grenade. It also made it a lot easier. In this part here, you can see I'm actually just destroying all the dogs with my super, making tons of orbs of life for my team. And as soon as you pass this part, I would say save your supers because the boss is incoming and you want to try to save your super for the boss. Again, I used my super right here, and I don't think any of my teammates used any more supers for the rest of the game, and I was still able to get my super by the time I hit the boss. But this is going to be a very difficult type of super to get, so make sure you save it. And of course, when you get to the boss, I'm going to be checking in with you guys again. Another thing I wanted to mention is you can actually skip past all of these people. There's going to be a lot of scions on the right side that are going to snipe you. So instead of just passing by these people, I would say just kill them. We had Void Burn at the time. We were wrecking them. Kill off the scions at the very least. If you want to skip the next set of people because there is a boss there, it is still possible. I did it on a previous run through. You can run past, but again, it doesn't take that much time to kill them if you're working with your teammates, and with the burn, it shouldn't be that hard. Once you get past this section and with that boss and these phalanx shields, then there's going to be another ring section. Again, you should have a left, middle, and bottom guy. Get all those rings as soon as you do. Then you're going to hit into the boss fight. Don't try to kill anybody in the sauce section. Just try to go for those rings and just try to pass them and get over to the boss section. So another thing I wanted to note is that if you have a bunch of dead teammates behind you, as soon as you arrive at this section, they will rejoin your allies, so they'll respawn in about 4 to 5 seconds with you here, so do not worry about reviving them if they died at the very end of the thing and they were just respawning in towards this end of this fight, the start of this fight here. They'll just respawn with you guys. It will be no problem and it'll be super easy. I recommend in this part just try to snipe out the boss with some power weapons, and of course the next part of it also snipe him out with some power weapons, and you should be able to move down to the glass part, which he does not have a ton of health with, and again it's really easy. And make sure you're saving your supers as much as you possibly can. If you find yourselves with a really close to super, maybe try to hold out and kill some harpies that are in the area so that you can have the super for the very final part. Once you get down to the very last stage, you're gonna want to use all your supers on the boss when it is that very specific burn that your super is. So we had all solar supers, so we waited for the solar burn, which happened immediately as we got down there, so we were able to destroy him pretty much immediately, and it does not take much effort or energy. If you have a lot of time to rotate around towards that super and you don't have enough time, you should probably just use it anyways, and you should be able to get through that boss actually still pretty no problem. But anyways, that's pretty much it for the tutorial of how to do this Nightfall. Again, I'm going to be letting it roll through so you guys can see the very specific things that we did. There's this section here you can see right now where we're trying to avoid the fire for the challenge this week. I don't think we got the challenge because somebody died to the fire, you can see there, but it was still pretty easy to kill this guy in this section. Just try to use your power weapons with the current burn and he will die really, really fast. He actually just has no health, and the burn on Nightfalls makes boss just die so freaking easy. Again, I recommend variants, and you can make these things very, very easy. Anyways, that's the video for you guys today. Hope you guys did enjoy. I hope to see you guys over on a live stream. I'm going to be doing a lot of live streams of Nightfall carries, raid stuff, maybe even raid carries. I'm not that good at the game, but I will try to do my best to try to help you guys. And I hope to see you over there in Twitch, because you guys have been showing some amazing support. I got my first $25 subscription over there yesterday. I was freaking out. I was loving it, and I definitely carried that dude through the Nightfall. It was like, hell yeah, you guys are awesome. And I love you. But I'm not saying to donate, I'm not. But I really appreciate whenever you guys show up to live stream. It is a lot of fun with you guys. Anyways, I've been Chronic, and I'll see you guys on the next one.